All right, well, big fight for you, Corey. Madison Square Garden. Give us a thought of just being here on the world's most famous arena.
I was having this conversation with my lady this morning. She was asking, aren't you excited about being at the Garden and fighting here? And for me, I'm just excited to fight. You know, it doesn't matter if it's at the Garden, if it's in my backyard, if it's at Henzo Gracie's, as he said, the Staples Center, wherever it's at, I just want to fight. You know, I never really watched sports growing up, so the fact that it's such a big moment, or whatever they say, oh, it's such a place you want to be at a sporting event, it doesn't really bother me. You know, a fight is a fight, and I'm going to octagon. That's all I see.
It's an interesting place. I mean, is that the way you feel before every fight? I mean, do you feel different excitement levels, or is it literally always just the same the days ahead of a fight?
It's always the same for me. You know, even just like going to the Ultimate Fighter, everybody was so excited, like, oh, it's BJ Penn and Frank Yeager, but I didn't know who either of those guys were. So for me, it was like, okay, it's just another day on the job, just to go in here and fight. So I think that helps me a lot. You know, I don't go in there with all that high anxiety, oh my God, adrenaline dump, I'm here. For me, it's just another day. You know, another day, another dollar.
All right, well, Ovince Saint Preux is a guy you know, right? Talk about, you know, the matchup and when he stepped in, kind of what you thought about it.
With the matchup, I think it's a really good matchup. Like, we've trained with UFC, had us train together out of Exos in Arizona, and the coach said something like, you guys are the same weight class, it's possible you can fight, right? Like, yeah, we know it's going to happen eventually. And then when Pat got hurt, I looked at my lady and I said, I'm telling you right now, it's either going to be OSP or it's going to be, what's his name, Ilir Latifi. And then I looked to see if anybody had said anything, and I saw that those two were targeting to fight each other December 30th. Oh, I guess it won't be them. Then the next day, sure enough, I get a call. You got OSP, like I told you. It was destined. I knew it was going to happen, so it's not a big problem.
What's it like when you train with a guy knowing that you may face him a little bit? I mean, do you hold back a little bit, don't show him who you are, or do you try to alpha male a little bit, show him, hey, you know, you're going to know what's coming if we ever do? Like, what's that experience like?
Well, we did more strength and conditioning training, so it wasn't no contact or anything. So there's nothing really you can show there. Strength and conditioning, you know, he's a big football player. Everybody knows he's strong, and I got cardio for days. That was something we all knew going into there. So we just got to see it firsthand, but that doesn't play too much into the fight game.
Do you drill the Saint Preux, the Saint Flu? I mean, do you drill that position? I mean, a guy hits it that many times. It seems like it's kind of an amateur move. A lot of people say it's Jiu-Jitsu 101. You shouldn't get stuck, but he's really good at it. So, I mean, do you drill that and pay special attention to it?
I mean, the way I focus on this last camp was I don't want to focus on anything so one person does good. I'm going to focus on making myself the complete martial artist so I can fight anybody, not just one person. For this reason exactly. So if something happened with my opponent, when I got a new opponent, it wasn't like, oh, I need to game change this. So, you know, the thing with that is you just don't attack the guillotine. And I don't do guillotines anyway because I don't like ending up on my back. So I feel like I don't have to worry about it, but I'm not going to say it can't happen. You know, anything can happen, but in my mind, it's not going to.
This is a huge card, obviously a lot of big names on it, but it's a big fight for you. I mean, what do you plan on doing out there? I mean, is there a way for you to stand out and make this, you know, a career type moment? Because a name like that on your resume is pretty sharp.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out there and seize the moment. You know, in this camp, I've did a lot of since the last fight. You know, like I said, after the March defeat, I was gonna go back to the drawing board, take some time off, and develop myself. Figure out what I need to do to be better, to be the best Corey Anderson. You know, I was focusing on being like Frank Yeager. I wanted to be like this guy, but then came to a point where I'm gonna take a little bit of everything I know, what I've came with, and just put it together and just be me, the biggest, strongest, fastest, most powerful Corey I can be. And I'm just gonna go out there and do that. I'm just gonna go out and put out a show.